Here, not yet. Okay, okay, Lawrence Gale.
Yeah,
I know.
Prof.
Yeah. She's a fitness trainer in Dubai, so I know.
Okay.
Okay, Happy is here. Good.
Yay.
Happy. Okay, buddy, you try to approve more if I can really approve others.
Yeah, I'm just my fingers just like.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm still having the hand because when I start the forum, chances that I won't have enough hands to continue the adding the people. Okay, by the way, Mike, I forgot to put Mike as co-host. One moment, Mike, brother Mike, where are you? Where's the participant?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, hinahanap ko yung name nyo. Ba't na, okay, now I know.
Sure.
Okay. Yes,
Okay na,
one
sir.
moment, make us co-host. So that kung maputol ako, pwede
the waiting room.
yung pag
Admit all.
Yes. Okay, again, to those who just come in, please rename yourself or your login name. Kindly put on your full name and rename as well your status, or it just follows athlete, coach, or official. So,
oh, good. We've got 12 participants.
People, May Park is from Ateneo de Cebu. I think she's one of. Remember her? I think she's one of the athletes. Okay. So once we are in, by the way, once at exactly 8 we'll continue because EJ can only stay for 1.5 hours. So we will keep the ball rolling. So, but then we will stay until for the next until local time there 4:30 so that we can still accommodate your comments, reactions, questions. By the way, to those people who are listening, we will already send in advance our invitation for the next forum, the Q&A Pinoy Athletics Live on Friday, Manila time. This time, it will be a very interactive forum, meaning all coaches and student trainers, athletes, etc. can ask us questions. But then we will also share some presentation about the long-term athletic development program or the LTAD and the principles of training to be a framework in our discussions. But still, open questions about etc. will be provided. But of course, don't expect us to create your own programs. We will just give you some basic ideas on how, especially student trainers, because I believe Coach Mike can attest this. Ang mga student trainers talaga, coaches or trainers natin talaga ang mas hands-on. Kaya dapat nating maturuan kasi sila mana ng ating position ngayon, ng ating status ngayon as coaches. And I believe that once we give them the proper guidance, they can really be motivated to be better coaches. Because some of them are not really well compensated, but of course we can make the most out of it by giving them enough education opportunities to be better persons. That is, of course, we all agree that sport makes us a better person through the activities that we are doing. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Ernest Obiena is in. Okay.
Okay, I'll just keep clicking away. Like we're getting quite a lot of people coming in. I'll just keep clicking away.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Ernest Obiena more. Rico. Yes. Okay. Ernest, good morning. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Ernest? On your mic cam and your microphone if you can hear us. Where's Ernest? Yes, okay. So happy, Jana. Okay. Okay, good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Yes, okay. Are you confident speaking Filipino or you prefer English?
Born and raised in Manila, so anything goes.
Okay.
Filipino po marunong.
Okay lang, kasi expect that I will be doing vernacular most of the time because most of as far as on our initial assessment, that most of the participants of this forum are coming from the locals, from the grassroots. So expect that I will be using more Tagalog or Filipino in this kind of forum. So we will start in 3 minutes because the first session is of course greetings and out rooms. Then of course you will do your first topic. You have 10 to 15 minutes to share your thoughts or topics on the first discussion about your experience that and to remind you is experience as a pole vaulter in the Philippines with the local and international perspective. Then we will have another breakout for sharing. Then your aspiration for athletics in the Philippines. Then if the time comes for 9:25, you can go to your training and then.
Thank you.
Yes, of course you're welcome. Knowing the situation. By the way, good morning from here in Budapest. So we have almost the same time. I woke
Good
up
morning.
around
Yeah.
6:30. Yeah. And I hope that when things get better, we meet in Ostrava. That is the nearest event that we can do. Or the Budapest Open. I don't know yet with the federation here when but it will be in September or October. Because they move even the Diamond League, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes. And
they did.
read on the local dailies that you're going to join Diamond League. So where do you?
That's the plan.
Okay. And
so we have Monaco on the 14th.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So that would be a good thing. By the way, again, ladies and gentlemen, to those who are just came in, please rename your name and put the letters athlete, coach, letter C as coach, and S as official, etc. So that when we do the breakout rooms, we can make the most out of the people who are here. So we'll start in. Yeah, we'll start in.
Is on the 14th of June or 14th of
August.
August. Okay, just taking
Monaco.
some.
Yeah. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, because we need to know when these meets are so we can publish about them. You know, you've got to keep note of it, everything. So basically, I can sort of check out the results. So I don't get the results 3 days after the meet's done, sort of thing.
Yeah. Then.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just working on the rooms.
People are still joining. I'm just sort of sending out some reminders.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Philippines, or good day, Philippines. Good afternoon to everyone, or whatever place you are in the world. Magandang araw, magandang hapon, magandang umaga, o magandang gabi sa lahat ng ating baybay sa Pinoy Athletics Track Talk Tuesdays. I'm Airnel Abarra, your host from the University of Physical Education in Budapest, Hungary, and also from Ateneo de Davao University Track and Field Team on leave. And with us, it's a very special time, ladies and gentlemen, for our Track Talk Tuesdays. We have a special guest. I'm sure this is a very good discussion because one of us, a fellow Filipino, born and raised in the Philippines, and has a very local approach towards how he developed as an athlete. So to get the ball started, to introduce ourselves, okay, so we will share the screen first. Okay. What will be our topic for this afternoon or morning? Yeah, afternoon there in the Philippines. So welcome to Pinoy Athletics Track Talk Tuesdays. Okay, our agenda are as follows. So we have the session, then of course the talk of EJ Obiena, some introductions, and then Q&A and wrap up. So about the host, my name is Airnel Abarra. This is my affiliation. Unfortunately, my co-host, Miss Geraldine Dina Bernardo, is not around because of some personal reasons beyond her control. So to get the ball started, we will have the break. The breakout rooms will serve as a point where you can get along and to get others to get others connected. So in the breakout room, you will have 5 minutes to know each other. So by sharing your name, your affiliation, be open to each other, share contacts, share emails, share your number if possible, and or at least get to know your person. By the way, we encourage you to rename your chat room by putting S, A, or C. S as a official, C as a coach, and A as an athlete. So in few seconds, we will do the breakout session. Athlete. Okay. So we will do now in 3, 2, 1.
Oh no, my camera.
Okay.
Okay.
Context.
I got you, Andrew. You're okay.
Hello?
Hi po.
Yeah, Andrew, you there?
Hey. Hello?
Yeah, Andrew, you there? You go ahead. We have EJ with us.
Oh, hey, EJ.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
Well, I already know everybody here. That's awesome.
Well, we might as well introduce everybody here if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Who wants to start?
Maybe you.
I'll start. I'm here. No? So, EJ, I met your mom pala in the previous forum. My name is Rico Navarro, Athletic Director of Sacred Heart School, Ateneo de Cebu. We have oval, we have field, and with this in this room, I'll call him next, is one of our athletes actually, incoming grade 11, high jumper,
Oh, cool.
and he won the gold at the Palaro when he was grade 6. And sana makakapasok sa Ateneo or any UAP school. So I'll introduce next yung athlete namin, si Rick Angelo. Ikaw na. Introduce yourself, please. Unmute your microphone, Angelo. Show yourself.
My name is Rick Angelo Soto, incoming grade 11 athlete of Sacred Heart School at Ateneo de Cebu. I'm a jumper since elementary, specifically grade 5 until now.
Angelo, what's your PR sa
good.
high jump mo? What's your personal?
My personal record sa long jump is 6.30 meters. Sa triple is 13.34. At high jump is 1.76, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, na.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Who's next? Jonah. Jonah, please go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi. Hello po.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
Good afternoon. Dito ako sa Binyan, Laguna. Coach po ako ng Lasal Subel. Alumni din po ako ng Lasal. So, yun, mga almost 3 years pa lang ako nagko-coach. Yun, nag-handle din po ako ng grassroots.
Nice.
Yun.
That's nice.
So,
We go to Angelica. Angelica, sunod.
My name is Angelica Meneke from Columban College player po. Player po ako since grade 4 po ako. Distance runner po.
Wow. Very nice. Excited ka ba ngayon na mamit mo si EJ?
Opo.
Ano ba? Very good. Ako hindi. Idol ko yan eh. We'll go to Albert. Albert, are you there? Albert. May Albert kasi. Andrew, Filipino athlete and William share the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, just repeat.
Who talks first? Filipino athlete. It's the same thing. And
They're both my accounts.
I know.
Yeah, because I've only got video on my phone. So I don't have video on my desktop, but it's easier to type on my desktop than sort of playing around with the buttons on my phone.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. You want to introduce yourself? You're next up.
Yeah, my name is Andrew. I'm based in Australia at the moment. I was with the PSC. I was with the Zumbawanga Sports Academy as a coach. I'm currently working and sort of about halfway through my level 3 Athletics Australia sprint coaching, and also the founder of Pinoy Athletics.
Yeah, we're wishing all the best to Pinoy Athletics. Hope this really gets things going here. Andito si Albert Briones. Albert, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. Yeah. My name is Albert. 53 years old, former athlete from Mapua. Just got invited by Andrew. Still interested to see how our young athletes and even our Olympians like EJ are doing. So I'm just really a supportive fan of yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
EJ, ikaw na. May 30 seconds tayo. What do you want to say to the group?
Okay, so I'm Ernest Obiena, born and raised in Manila. I'm currently a pole vaulter. I'm currently based here in Italy. This is where I prepare and train most of the time. The main reason I do this here because I'm near to the high-level competitions, which could be a drive away, you know. I'm also an Olympic qualifier for the upcoming now 2021 Olympic Games. So I hope to answer the questions that you guys have, and I'll try to be as candid as I can be.
Good luck.
Gentlemen, we are back again. So for now, we will now meet our speaker for this morning. So again, our speaker for this afternoon or this day is Ernest Obiena from Manila, Philippines. He is the son of Mr. Emerson Obiena and Miss Jeanette Obiena, both athletes, especially Mr. Emerson Obiena, who also became a national athlete for the Philippines during his time. EJ Obiena is the 2019 Universiade champion or the World University Games in Napoli, Italy, the 2019 Southeast Asian Games champion for pole vault, respectively, last year, and also the champion for the Asian Athletics Championships in Doha, Qatar, last year. So, friends and colleagues, I welcome you now. Let us give a round of applause to our special guest this morning who will talk his experience, 3 things about being a local athlete on a world-class setting. Mr. Ernest Obiena. EJ, round of applause, please. Yay. Yes, EJ, are you here? Can you hear us? Okay, where's EJ? Kindly unmute yourself, EJ, so that we can hear you. EJ, are you there?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. So you can, okay, so to keep the ball rolling again, so 3 things, your experiences as a local athlete on a world-class setting and how it helped you right now in your position now as first, of course, the first Filipino to qualify in the Olympic Games, and also your experience in Universiade, in Asian Athletics Championships on a local perspective, how it all started and how right now the 3 things that help better at. I hope you understand the framework of the question.
So basically I started track and field back when I was really young. As you guys have know, alam niyo naman na like yung tatay ko po yung talagang nag-start sa akin sa track and field. He is a pole vaulter as well. So I think I was as young as 5 or 6 years old. I was already in the track. I was goofing around, you know, like as a kid. I look at the track as a park in a way. It wasn't something that it wasn't a sport for me back then. It was just I would say like a fun place to be, other than the house. So that's how everything started. I went to Chiang Kai-shek College to do my elementary and high school days. which I competed as a hurdler actually. I wasn't really a good pole vaulter before, and I was an okay hurdler as well. I made Palarong Pambansa team when second year high school dun sa may, if I remember, Tarlac, if I'm right. Yeah, sa Tarlac yung Palarong Pambansa. Then I was there. I think I got silver in pole vault. I never actually won Palarong Pambansa, but it was one of the reasons why I kept training hard because it was one of my frustrations as a kid. I wanted to get that gold in Palarong Pambansa. So basically, things moved forward. I went to university. I competed in UAAP. I was rookie of the year. I was good at a local level. I wasn't something special outside Philippines. I was jumping 450 at the age of 16. So that's at the local level. That's decent. That's good. But now the level's higher. Actually, it's not that good anymore, which is I'm happy to hear that. But you know, during the time I was decent as a local athlete. But when I go out of the Philippines, I was not. I was not even. I was not a contender in Southeast Asia even or even in Asia. Um, I started to be known in a way in the Southeast Asian region around 17, 18, when the 2013 no 13 yeah 2013 no 2015 Sea Games. That's when I started to really be known by the neighboring countries as I've been competing around Southeast Asia during that time. Um, Basically, it's a big difference because I don't think we get a lot of it's the culture of athletics in Philippines is local based in a way. We don't really get a lot of foreign visitors, not like here in Europe. Like athletes just travel by car and go to the meets of neighboring countries, which I truly believe helps improve the athletics in some shape or form. That competitive level of having to compete at your highest each competition, even if it's a small competition. If you have someone who's running, let's say you're a sprinter, you have someone who's running close to you. You can't relax, and I think that's what push you to be consistent, and that's what push athletics to a greater level, the competition as well. Wait, I kind of got lost track there. Oh. Ano na po yung dapat
Sorry. Okay, so actually it's good. Yeah. At least you are right, especially on what you have saw in Europe, that the culture of athletics is different, and that's we speaks many
Yeah.
what we have in athletics and all other forums, that the most important thing aside from learning the skills and also having in meets is also the culture. The culture builds the meets, the system, and the manner and behavior of coaching that we have for our country. um how did your coaches, who, by the way, who is, for the knowledge of everyone, who is your current coach right now?
My coach is the great Vitaly Petrov. He has the both world record outdoors for the men and the women. He coached Sergei Bubka, who broke the world record 35 times.
Yeah.
He coached Yelena Ishinbayeva,
And by
who
Eva,
also holds the world record in the women's pole vault. He currently trains the reigning champion in Olympic Games, which is a good friend of mine, Tiago Braz. So, he's probably the best pole vault coach in the world.
okay, yeah. So how can you give us at least three things? What or the values or culture of Coach Vitali in relation to your experience as a Filipino and local athlete? Because as what we have said, you said earlier that you didn't really went to the higher place in Palaro, and then you were discovered during your UAP days by your father in pole vault. So what are the three things that you noticed to Coach Vitali that we might learn as coaches, as officials, as an athlete, that you can share to us in your experience with him?
Um, to be honest, he's first of all, he's not just a coach for me. You know, the way he treats athletics is a totally different thing. It's the way he see athletics is totally different, which is very hard to explain because he's so deep into it. You know, he started coaching back when he's 18, and the passion that he has for it is incredible. You know, the workout doesn't start at the training camp or where we train. It starts when he writes it down. You know, so he's already running everything in his head, and the attention to detail, the way he looks at the training is like each day the athlete needs to improve one way or another. It may not be the physical today, it might not be the psychological. He needs to move forward. So I think that's one of the reasons why he's a really great coach. Second, he knows the system so well. He knows the how to train the athletes. He knows that each athletes are different. So he doesn't have a program. Even right now, at a high level performance, like me and Tiago could be said like we're close. We're similar in the level that we need to train. But I'll be honest with you, we don't have the same training program, even if we train on the same day. Sometimes the athlete feels tired. Sometimes the athlete feels really good. So you need to adjust, even if you have that program that's set for today. Okay, we need to run this, we need to run that. But if the athlete is tired, you can't push him. If the body's tired, there's limitations, and each and every one is unique, and each and every one recovers at a different time, a different pace. And as a coach, I think he takes well note of that. Like in each training, we have like a 5-minute talk. How's everything? How did you sleep? How was your dinner? How are you feeling? How's everything? Basically, like how's everything? How are you? Are you ready for training? And last, I think, would be how much he cares for the athletes. He cares for us more than just his athletes. He trains us, he pushes every day, but when we leave the track, he's more of a mentor to me. And the way he handles everything and how he helps me in a lot of stuff, not just in sports. I think that's what gives the athlete like me trust in him, and much respect. And to be honest, like I I treat him as more than just a coach. I could say like he's a grandfather for me, and the way he's so careful, and he take care of the athletes so much, and I just can't even explain it.
Okay, thank you, EJ. You're right on the things that you mentioned. So we note, of course, Vitaly being a world-class coach, he has a different, of course, as you mentioned, different people, different attitudes, and we must, the coach and the athlete must work hand in hand together to meet their goals. And of course, one thing that we notice as well is the attention to detail, as Enzo will on the chat room right now, attention to detail and the individual needs of the athletes, and being conscious on the athletes, especially on your condition, rest, recovery, and your stress levels, and of course nutrition. So given of course that's how was it, ladies and gentlemen, important that we as coaches, as officials, must know the individual needs of the athlete and what goals that we need to set in order to attain the level, for example, like EG is having right now. So last question before we go to the next breakout rooms for your second topic, which is about how we can think about the perspective of athletics in the Philippines and apply it your on your situation or what happened to you in your career as a local athlete who went to the world class stage of pole vault in athletics. So next question is, we said about the values earlier. What is the kind of atmosphere or the culture of athletics in the countries that you visited, trained with, especially in Europe? I saw, and also in Germany, which I saw that you also competed in Napoli and also in Leverkusen in Germany. What is the thing that you notice in those competitions on a personal level or opinion?
First of all, athletics is really huge here in Europe. You know, it's one of the biggest. Okay, it's not as big, but sports in general is really huge in Europe, which I think drives the nation and the continent really well. Athletics here is huge as well. You know, the competitions are just almost every other day. You can have a competition if you want to. Not during this period, but you know, in a normal time, there's a lot of competitions going around, and the level of how you say competition is always high because, as I said, the competing against new people, competing with your competitors in the big championships almost each week is a big boost on you. You know, that's how you know if you're ready, how you're feeling. During the season, you want to be as sharp as you can be. It's like feeling that you can vault with your eyes closed for me, and to be able to do that under pressure as well, which training cannot simulate in a way. You know, that's why I think the culture in Europe would be the best. Probably would be France, the French people. You know how deep they are in track and field is amazing, and especially in pole vaulting, they're one of the powerhouses. Then I'll say Germany has really innovative way of bringing track and field outside the stadium. They have a lot of street competitions, which are still sanctioned by IAAF. But you know, you bring the sport outside of the stadium, you bring it to the people, and that just boosts the athletes' confidence as well. And having this new scenario just gives you a little bit excited. um, Another thing I think would be they have clubs. um, I think that's one thing that I want to bring back to the Philippines as well, is to have clubs that not govern athletes, but they try to help athletes in some way, because I think in Philippines we're so huge. We're a big nation with a really difficult how you say, we're a bunch of islands. We're an archipelago, so it's hard for us to just keep competing with each other. But with clubs and everything, if we have an inter-club competition, a regional competition, not just for the high school but also for the open category, I think that will help increase our, how you say, our depth in athletics.
Yes, exactly. And it's very nice that you really notice well this kind of culture and approach of Europeans, or in different locations, how different the culture is. First is, of course, the innovation. Second is the level of excellence in terms of organization. And then third is, of course, the people. We've noticed that how people, not only in the school setting, but in a club setting, works well. Because, of course, not all are going to schools, and that's the difference between the European perspective and the Philippine perspective. And as you said, we are an island nation, so I think localization or regionalization and decentralization of our athletics events and making them fitted on our own existing conditions to make it more responsive, more innovative, or um, massa-oriented can be a
Mm.
good way to start and spearhead the development of our athletics in our country. And as you notice, we have also local meets. As I mentioned many times, the track league in Davao is our simple way of what we are doing in Mindanao. And I hope that our participants here can really think, and especially those who are in the local government units, to collaborate together to create more meets. Because as what EJ said, the way how he improves is constant, sustainable, innovative culture in athletics, especially in the world class and in a global setting. Okay, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen, we're
I
having
just want to
our,
add
yeah,
something on that.
yes, continue.
Yeah, regarding the competitions, I started in the weekly relays, and I think that's what the the federation right now is trying to do. Qatar is they trying to spread out weekly relays around the region, which I think is a good step. I understand that it's very limited at the moment, but I think in a way we're going in the same track, like you guys are hosting meets, they're hosting meets, and I think that's just really good. I think before that doesn't exist like a few years back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And we hope that our policymakers can really see the importance of decentralization and making the athletics events more accessible beyond the usual or staple we have. And we hope that through your efforts being in the national training pool, we can convince, or we can communicate further with our policymakers to really collaborate further. We are hoping that through our efforts of everyone, regardless whether you're from public, private, club, or whatever sector that you have in the Philippines, we can work together to make athletics
Definitely.
and a higher culture of athletics possible in our country.
Yeah,
Okay? Thank you, EJ.
definitely.
So we are
Thank you.
done on our first part. So we will have our second breakout room. So for the second breakout rooms, these are the things that we would like you to discuss. We will give you 10 to 15 minutes to discuss this. Um, so the topic are as follows. One moment. I will share the screen for you to see. Okay, so I hope that everyone sees this. Okay, so the breakout session number 2, 10 minutes. How did you learn so far from the speaker, and what ideas you can share about grassroots athletics and other matters that you can discuss. And one thing, again, please get to other, share your contacts, prepare pen and paper most of the time so that you can get to know along with your athletes. So that's the reason why we ask you to put letters before or behind your name so that we can identify you in the breakout room. So whether if you're an athlete, coach, or S as an official. So we'll start the breakout rooms. You have 10 to time check 2:32 in the Philippines. So you have until 2:40 to 2:45 for the breakout session. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're back. I hope that everyone had enough time to share their ideas during the breakout rooms. Don't worry, we will still have enough time later. And then for this time. So we continue with our second part, EJ, on our discussion. So for the second part, the question is related now to the Philippine setting. So earlier we discussed how the systems of coaching, culture, and the governance of athletics in the countries that you've been trained and visited. So we noticed that there's a very high aspirations towards culture, the number of events, the level of coaching that experience with Coach Italy, etc. Of course, in your career, and we notice as well that it's important to notice that you will be discovered through the guidance of good coaches, and of course, a very conducive environment where you excel. Now, on for the next 10 minutes, I hope that we can share now. What do you think being a local athlete that you can contribute, you can share, and also you want to aspire for the Philippines for this years or seasons, depending on how do you think athletics should be done in our local setting, based on your own experience, based on your dreams, aspirations as an Olympian.
Uh, I think first thing, we're lacking facilities. We don't have tracks in every region or even every island. That's a goal of mine. I really want to have that opportunity because what I've seen here in Europe, almost every city has bunch of tracks. Not even one. It's more than one. Like here where I am now in Italy, it's not probably the the biggest track and field nation here in Europe, but like right now, if I drive for another 10 minutes down south, there's another track there. It's like, you know, the more accessible it is to the athletes, the more athletes would actually be training. And having more tracks give us more opportunity for us to organize competitions, clinics, even club meetings. Like it's a totally game changer if we have more facilities that's accessible to everyone. I'm not saying just facility for display, facility that can actually be used for everyone. Um, Another thing, I really think that the local government unit is trying their best to. I'll say that they're trying to organize their grassroots program, but it's really frustrating to see what is happening because it's not kicking off as someone have said a while ago. But for me, it's very hard if you're looking at the nationwide level. It would be easier if we look at it like as per region or as per area. If we have clubs that are handling each region or area to promote events and promote athletics, they would have their own grassroots programs, and that would help have our talent pool to be bigger, and to have coaches opportunity to see more athletes and to have a platform to perform and train, and to have this system that I do believe is sustainable because it's working here. Why wouldn't it be working in our place? And this is some of the things that I really hope that I can try to bring as much as I can. And of course, the street competitions, bringing athletics outside the stadium is a huge goal of mine. We were planning a street pole vault competition this year, supposed to be this September, but due to the pandemic, I can't push it through.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents on those things.
Yes. So that is a very interesting thought that you mentioned about the facilities. And we know the fact that here in the Philippines, I believe most of the region, if I'm not mistaken, at least one region, at least one have one sports complex, but not all have the facility for pole vault. But of course, it doesn't mean that we cannot do other events in athletics, because every region, as far as I know, the almost 15 to 17 regions are having their own sports facilities or sports complex. Even in some cities or in provinces like Laguna, like Cebu, like Davao region, Cagayan de Oro, etc., are having at least one or two sports complex. Even in Ilagan, Isabela, I think they have two sports complex, one for provincial use and one for the city or Ilagan's use. So, and also in Tuguegarao, etc. So, you're right on having the facilities. And now, especially you as a local, and then what do you think now, can someone learn from you, especially for a local athlete? Not everyone have the opportunity to meet, for example, Coach Vitaly. But what do you think should be done in order for other local athletes, especially in the grassroots level, to aspire and to look like to have other coach global perspective like what you have? Meaning, do you think there's a capacity right now for our local athletes to have the same world class coaching, and what should they done, especially on the athletes and the coaches level, in order to at least have the standards like your experience with Coach Vitaly?
I do think that we have world-class coaching in Philippines. It's just a matter of having that communication. Coaching itself is not just about the knowledge of what you know about coaching. It's much more than that. And bringing up an athlete from grassroots to world class is not a certainty. And what I'm saying is, there's a lot of coaches out there, and the coaches, you will know as an athlete if your coach is trying to do as much as he can. You'll feel it as an athlete, and that in itself. Way back when I was training hurdles, my coach wasn't anyone. He wasn't the who's of the who in the Philippines. And to be honest, if you feel like he's doing whatever he can, you should push yourself and do what he knows. You, you will. I'll never say that the past training that I've been doing is wrong before Vitaly, because that built me up here. And as a grassroots, you need to trust the system that your coaches is trying to do. And it's a matter of time that you will progress, and your coach, if he truly aspire for you to be better, and he knows that there's nothing more he can help, he himself will say, okay, I have nothing more that I can give you. I have give you everything that I know. And that's the part where you inspire for another coach, or you progress to another level, and you find another mentor, which I do believe can happen in a proper way. It's never good to see athletes leave their coaches, but it's one way or another. It can happen. If but it's a constant. How do you say? It's a constant progression. That's what I've learned in Europe. How the coaches here admits that, okay, this is my level. This is what I can teach the athletes. If I cannot help them anymore, I should somehow try to give them a better chance. I have a friend here who started doing triple jump back when he's 15, and now he's 23. At the first 3 years, he had his coach in the interclub coach, which was all-around coach without specialty, without anything. Then he moved to another coach in his city where he can train triple jumpers. He trains mostly jumpers. And then after 3-4 years, the coach said, that's it. I have nothing more that I can help you with. And I believe that it will be better for you to find a more knowledgeable coach, which now he goes here and train with the national triple jump coach. And I think that's one way to do it. And, it's always a scenario based. It's never just a standard thing. That's why it's so hard to know if what you're doing is right. It's very complicated. I have no idea how I can explain it, to be honest.
Yes. I understand. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and other things you mentioned about the level of the system there in Europe, etc. So now we will do another breakout session in 5 minutes. But then, by the way, just a reminder, you can type your questions and reactions later, because later when we have enough time, because EJ can still stay us for like 20 to 25 minutes, you can type your questions and then I will read them. And then if EJ is still available later, then we can still discuss your comments, your questions, and then we will have later. So we will do now the third breakout session, ladies and gentlemen, which is as follows. So one moment. So for the breakout session, so the question are as follows: what did you learn from the speaker, and how do internationalization works for Philippine athletics? So still, aside if you have enough time, you can still get along with different participants, and also to get to know them. The reason why we are doing the breakout rooms, EJ, is for everyone to get to know each other, because of course we cannot do the role call that what is your name,
Yeah.
about you, yourself, etc. So that's the reason why that we are thankful that Zoom has this technology to make this breakout rooms to have intimate discussions to everyone, so that whatever they want to say to a small group, then by the way the group is randomized. That's one reason I asked you to put the letter A, C, or S. We can reclassify you on the groups that you might fit in. Of course, that's one reason we do this, so that we can have a good network of Philippine athletics community as a whole. So we will
That's
do now
awesome.
the breakout. Yeah. So we will do now the breakout session. One moment. So um so far by the way, while we are organizing the forum, can you tell us your at least tentative calendar of the events that you plan to participate if the COVID-19 situation is gone, or at least better for now?
At the moment, I'm planning to start August, because I think that's where the big competitions are gonna happen. Um, there are mostly in Europe. I'm trying to avoid travels and everything, trying to stay safe as well in this current period.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping to be in Monaco, because I know the big dogs or the big pole vaulters will be there, and I want to compete with them. I want to feel the how everything is after this pandemic as well. Um, you know, to be honest, I want to be in the every Diamond League competitions. It's mostly running from August to September. There's not going to be a finals this year, so sadly, there's no points in that. But competing with my friends in the circuit is gonna be fun, and it's gonna help me understand where I am now and where my competitions would be. But my season, my plan is to compete from August to latest first second week of October, because I need to prepare for the World Indoors coming 2021.
Okay, yeah. So now we are now doing the breakout room. So again, you have a time check. It's 2:56 in the Philippines. So you have 5 to 10 minutes for this, and then after that we will do the question and answer portion, and then reactions in 3, 2, Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you find enough time to share your thoughts, etc. So for this time, ladies and gentlemen, EJ and our colleagues, we will now open the floor for the question and answer portion. So the question and answer, please type your questions on the chat box or please unmute yourself and then you can use English or Filipino. Pwede man Cebuano, Jude, makasabot man kita. So pwede man magbisaya except lang sa Ilocano, Pampanga ug Pangasinan. So nevertheless yan. So yun ang, so the floor is now open for your questions and EJ will answer them. I hope EJ you're fine with the Q&A for the next 10 to 15 minutes because we cannot hold you that much time because it's almost 30 minutes before or 25 minutes before your training before you prepare for training. Okay? So first question. So please yes, okay, bawal ang hanggaran, of course. Hindi problema. Best Majalog Kivano. O yun. So, hindi ako mag-Hungarian, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay. One of the most complicated, by the way. I'm trying my best. At least Italiano is very much related to Spanish. So, at least. Okay, so from Jillian Bernard, how did you balance your academics, athletics? Thank you, Jillian Bernard, for your question.
It's a hard thing to do. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's almost impossible. I said almost, not impossible. You need to sacrifice some stuff in your life. It's not as fun as it would be as a regular student, but I think you decided to take athletics and academics as well. So I think that should be your priority at the moment. So if you're a student athlete, you need to be a student first, then you need to be an athlete. Then the rest follows, you know. It's as sad as it is. Social life will be less for you because you need to do first your training before you can hang out with your friends. But you know, training can be a good time for you as well to hang out with your friends. So to be honest, that's it. It's always a mix and match, and you try to do your best. You try to never procrastinate. I think I've learned a lot in my student athlete years that to how to properly manage my time and to be focused on the things that are more important, not just the things that I want to do.
Thank you, Jillian and EJ. So further questions. So while we are waiting for the questions, by the way, we will have reactions later. So I already assigned earlier Sir Rico, but then we will have his reactions later. But then I already randomly select for your latest reactions two athletes, especially David Familiar, later, can you please share your reactions towards the talk? And then also, if someone from Ateneo de Cebu, athletes from Ateneo de Cebu are here, the Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu, we would like to acknowledge they're almost full force. Thank you, Sir Rico, and to the great athletes of Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu. Okay, so Happy, are you having question? Happy? Happy Dinuyo is from the Philippine Sports Institute, Philippine Sports Commission. And then of course the common thing is when you're the common question is when you're an athlete and a student at the same time, it's really about the balancing, about the how the things how you should done as an athlete, should do as an athlete, etc. And of course, how of course your parents are here, Sir Emerson and Ma'am Janet are also here. What values do you think for the parents who are here that you that an athlete, sorry, what do you think the value parents should have in order to have a better life as an athlete in your experience or in your point of
Sir Airnel, Sir Airnel, is the question for me?
For both of you. So the parent point of view, how to raise a good athlete, and also for the athlete to have what values do do you think that the parents should have? So,
Well, how to raise a good athlete?
yes.
Usually, it starts as an educator, you know, na simula raw yan sa pamilya, di ba? Doon magsisimula. It's not easy, pero syempre, sa panggagabay. Gagabayan sila doon. We started with both our kids na dinala lang namin sila sa oval, as in it's a big park for them. They do enjoy running there, picking and everything. Parang malaking playground sa kanila.
It's like Luneta.
Yes. Yun. And then they love it, they enjoy it, and then they themselves would ask na, how was it? Yun.
Yeah, may I add to that? Ang ano ko lang is we'll never know kung ang anak natin ay magiging athlete in the future. Noong time na yun, what we just did is like we exposed them to the sport at that very early age, and it turned out like it's fun for them. So I think isa yun sa importanteng matutunan ng bata na to love the sport, to see the sport as something that is fun at their early age. Because like we cannot force them. Maybe okay because they respect you or they want to please you, they will follow you, but the heart is not there. So
iba yung may puso.
Yes.
Yun ang ano ko, masasabi ko is draw a picture to your kids na what you're trying to give them is something that will be fun, that will make them happy, and they will be looking forward to do every day. So I think from there you started from there, and I think that's the correct way. And they will have that initiative na to push themselves. Na yung from that fun thing, they become serious and they become dedicated, and then they dream, they look forward to something higher than just having fun. Maybe yun nga, and we'll never know if it's going to happen or not, but I think yung cross your finger and guide them na yun nga, that teach them to love that sport. It's not something that we can force them. Yun lang.
Thank you, Sir Emerson and Ma'am Janet. Okay, so we will now later, EJ, I will give you the turn on the question then. But we to save more time. So first is to continue our question and answer from Sir Rico Navarro, the athletics director of Sacred Heart School, Ateneo de Cebu. How or when did you switch from to pole vault?
I was a hurdler until I was second year high school. Then, to be honest, I started vaulting when I second year high school as well. I've been vaulting, but I wasn't really into it like seriously. I was more of a hurdler during that time. But then I saw that it's gonna be a really good event, and I fall in love with it at a really young age. And I really like pole vaulting, but I just wasn't good with it. But I think what made me see pole vaulting as a event for me is when I started vaulting 3 meters and started competing. You know, it was a really more of a fun. I really like the experience of free fall, and that I jump over that bar all by myself in a way. So I really like it. That's why I switched.
Okay, thank you, EJ. So next question. So expect na para tong na one-on-one tayo. Parang ako si Boy Abunda taka yung celebrity. Okay, just only to give some. Okay, so from
Sure.
Angelica Meneke, what food do you eat after your training or workout and before competing or game about eating? So perhaps some tips on nutrition, on diet. So how something like that.
First of all, I try to avoid sugar because that really affects your body in a really bad way, and sugar is very addicting. So if you guys want to lose weight, you need to just lose the sugar in your diet. To be honest, what I try to stay to the normal meals. just regular food, because when you're competing in a circuit, you don't really know what you're gonna get, you know. When you go to India, the food is gonna be different. When you go to another place, the food's just gonna be different. So I try to stay on my meals, and I try to stay in a regular basis, not something special, something that I can only eat here. Like I don't eat just pasta or eat that. And before competition, I try to avoid eating 3 hours before, because I I feel different, and I hate the feeling that the food is in my stomach while I'm competing, because I want to be fully focused on the competition and the things that I need to do. Sometimes it backfires, you know. I get hungry in the middle of the game, but I bring a banana, you know. I bring a banana, I bring some peanut butter jelly would be good. Even I don't like peanut butter, but it's a really good fuel for you for a short-term boost.
Okay, thank you. So I guess final question, and of course the reaction, so that we save enough time. I think we have 15 minutes more before you go to training. Okay, so from Kenji, based on my experience, what if the coach is the reason that discourages you and it doesn't motivate you?
This is a tough one. First, you need to make sure that you need to make sure first that you are communicating to your coach as well as you should. First, you look at yourself. You think, okay, am I communicating well? Am I doing what I need to do? Am I being a pain in the ass for him? And the second thing, if that's still the case and you truly believe that you're having a hard time and you're losing motivation doing sports because of your coach, then I would say it's time for you to speak to him, then let him know, and have an agreement that, okay, this is what I feel. And if nothing can be changed, I think you need to move forward and find your coach for you. And but with all due respect to your previous coach, you know, that's always a tough thing to do, but you know, sometimes it happens.
Okay, yes. So something of course what from last okay, so since we don't have enough time, so I will now give the floor to Sir Rico Navarro, our reactor for this afternoon, to said is a writer in Cebu, and also the sport director of Ateneo de Cebu, one of our colleagues in the Jesuit school. So, Sir Rico, the floor is yours po for your reactions.
Thank you, Coach Ernel. Maayong hapon. A pleasant afternoon to one and all here. So first, the very first thing that we must do is actually say thanks to EJ and his parents. Thank you, EJ, for being here, for being that idol that we can look up to. No, it's a very big thing that there is somebody there to whom we can look up, because without that, uh, athletics is gone. That's the hard part there. No, so because as I said, I shared last week. No, I come from the time of kami ata na parents ni AJ. Again, the panahon ni Lydia De Vega, Elma Moros, Isidro Del Prado and company. That was when we had a lot of top athletes, and people were actually into running. People were actually into running. And not only running per se, but the track and field in general. It was popular. Yung panahon na yun, popular ang track and field. Ngayon, today, however, hindi ganyan kasikat ang track and field nationwide. But if you look at the framework, the setup, actually, kung ano meron dati, andyan pa rin ngayon eh. I'm talking about the Palaro Network. Now remember, the Palaro Network, every year you have the Palaro system of the unit meet, diba? The district meet, division meet, regionals, and Palaro. And that is very heavy for track and field. It is tawag dito, it is really a haven of talent. Ang daming talent dyan, no? So my concern here now is how can we find ways to make the athletics and track and field more popular? Okay, how can we make it more popular? Like, that's where we need guys like EJ. When you're there, at least we have someone to look up to. I hope we had 10 more EJs, but at least that they can bring up the sport to a proper. I have nothing against the films. The films are good. But iba talaga pag you know somebody beside you na taga Tondo, taga Manila, who you know. The funny thing about AJ, remember, you're talking about, it's not the most popular sport or event as well. Pole vault is not very popular in the Philippines. No, it's always the running part. It's always the sprinting. If it's not the sprinting, it's long distance, but that's the marathons, about 21K, 42K, and all, or 10K. But the track and field as a sport as a whole, we really need to parang makeover, do a makeover for it. But that's true. Actually, the solutions are all there. In the chat box, you'll see it there already. We just need more competitions, more games. In fact, I'd like to, I know in Europe, the model for Europe for the under 12, I wish we could do it here, no? The under 12 years old model in Europe, they run, but they don't run for medals. They just run for fun. And they don't even award medals for first, second, third. Of course, there may be a few exceptions, but in general, in Europe, if you look at the models, they compete, then they give special awards and not the gold medal awards. If correct me if I'm wrong, they give the special award for the most punctual, the most energetic, mga ganyan, just to encourage people so that they don't discourage those who cannot perform well. So those are the initial things. Sayang kasi, like I said, the structure, the backbone is there because of the Palaro network. Ang problema doon, there's no follow through. And like EJ said, maybe the clubs will take over. Maybe the LGUs will take over. Maybe Patafa can sing it sila ng competitions around the schedule of the Palaro. Ang nangyayari kasi, even as far as regions concerned, remember, not everybody can go to the Palaro. Pag regionals, natanggal ka, you don't qualify for Palaro, many of them stop training. So sayang. And there are, again, EJ, you're the best example. You did not even win a Palaro gold medal. I don't even, I was there in Tarlac when you were there, when my son was running, but I don't even, because my son didn't win also. But my point there is, yun nga, not all the Palaro gold medalists are the only ones who can make it. Yung ibig ko sabihin. Because remember, at the regional level, pag hindi ka naka-qualify for Palaro, ang iba dyan, they just stop, tapos sasabihin nila, sige, next Palaro na lang, or next regional na lang. When in fact, they should be training more. No? When you do that, then at least all year round and training, kulang lang ang. And again, there are other models. You can copy the models from basketball, from football, from volleyball. And the good news that there's, kumbaga, copy and paste na lang, di ba? There are age group for football, age group for basketball, and it's not a secret. Di naman sikreto yan. So, again, it's tough. Of course, I know that there will be a need for resources, sponsors, funding. I agree with Andrew when he says facilities. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a big question because there are track ovals all over the Philippines, each region having one. In Cebu alone, I'm counting 5 ovals na pwede, that are good. But are people using it? Are people putting products or activities into it? That's the next big question mark. So you know, I'd like to keep my reaction short, just to open up. But again, I've always had my faith, in athletics. I'm just a jogger myself. I'm a frustrated athlete kasi. I jog, I run. I cannot compete, but it's because I find it fun. Despite my size, tumatakbo pa din tayo. So, yun lang. Those are my reactions for our thoughts, Coach Airnel. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you very much, EJ. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Rico, for your wonderful insights. I find it very interesting, of course, that Sir Rico has this kind of perspective because, of course, coming from media and also from the administrator side, it's good to hear as well what kind of ideas that we can do, not only for athletics, but in the sport as a whole. So, are there some thoughts? You still have 5 minutes, I guess. So, I find in Australia, people are more into breaking their personal best than rather winning medals. I hope you'll notice in Ostrava when you went there that there's a kid event, the chocolate spike. Remember the golden spike? And then the kids are given the replica of the trophy, but it's made out of chocolate. So I think we should like this because when we are doing the track league, we as much as possible we don't give prizes or money, but instead we give in kind like shoes or but the kids are happy. Mababaw lang kaligayahan ng mga atleta natin sa grassroots, and we believe that by constant collaboration, cooperation, and of course a strong culture that involves everyone in athletics, local, international, from national, elite up to the grassroots level, working together can make. Okay, so we will hold you that much, EJ. But we will still continue with the forum. By the way, wag muna po kayong aalis. We still have 30 minutes. But of course, in order to let EJ have some enough time to prepare for his training 30 minutes from now. So again, we thank you, Mr. Ernest John EJ Obiena, our Olympian in athletics for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics and the current Universiade or World Athletics Champion and the Southeast Asian Games Champion in pole vault. Maraming salamat sa iyong pagdalo sa aming event dito sa Track Talk Tuesdays. So again, thank you and God bless. We still have enough time. Wag muna kayong alis. So salamat. Bigyan natin ng palakpak online si EJ.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, so anytime you can leave the chat room if you need to prepare. So, but then if you want to stay, it's up to you. So we continue with our discussion. Some ladies and gentlemen, as we go on. Yes, okay, sige. Salamat ulit.
Bye po.
Okay, so some reminders.
Questions. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah,
sorry.
Guys, continue. Sorry.
If anyone has questions or anything, just hit me up. I'll try to answer them. And really, thank you for listening to me. And I really want to share my knowledge and hear your thoughts as well. Thank you very much. I'll head out to training. Have a good one. See you po.
See you and see you soon again. We will have a second part, promise.
Awesome.
So while EJ, yeah, sure. So while EJ is preparing for training, so we continue with the discussion. Some reminders, ladies and gentlemen, are further so later yung final thoughts. Okay, so for announcements, if you need certificates or inquiries, you can email us at airnel.abarra@protonmail.com with your full name and affiliation. So, by the way, on next Friday, we will have a track talk again on Friday, 29 May, 2 to 4 time. This will be like an open mic session. This will be a first, I think, that this time, me and my colleague Andrew Perry will now openly answer all your questions because for the attention, we are bombarded with all friend requests on Facebook and emails and also private messages. Grassroots athletes and coaches are asking, Coach, ano pong magandang program? Coach, dapat namin gawin? Coach, ano pong dapat namin gawin? So this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will answer this based on our own knowledge and of course our networks, how and why about athletics. So Q&A portion tayo on next Friday. So it will be like an open mic session that of course we will facilitate. The theme is the long-term athletic development program or the LTAD and the principles of training. But then the bulk of the time will be going portion, which will be moderated by yours truly and Enzo Williams, and perhaps if she's available, Miss Geraldine Dina Bernardo of the Sport Management Council of the Philippines. So we invite especially all athletes and aspiring coaches, especially yung mga nasa grassroots sa probinsya na mga student trainers, yung mga volunteer trainers na kinukuha sa mga public schools, sa mga local clubs para mag-train ng atleta. Yun talagang totoong hands-on at nagbibigay ng program sa mga athletes. And I hope we would like also to extend our invitation on Friday to Sir Emerson and Ma'am Jeanette also to be one of our observers and reactors. We will appreciate if you can join us on Friday. So to continue, ladies and gentlemen, our discussion. Yes po. Mag-go kayo sa Friday po, Ma'am Janet, Sir Emerson.
Yes po. We'll be there for you. Thanks.
Opo. So, ang magiging format po natin sa Friday po, it's like an open mic session, Q&A po. So, magta-type po ng questions ang participants, then based on our knowledge and scientific skills, etc., that we will answer them as much as possible. Especially kasi, Ma'am Janet, FYI, napansin talaga namin nung sinimulan namin yung Track Talk Tuesdays dito sa Pinoy Athletics, hindi na yata ako pinapatulog minsan ng mga nag-PPM o nag-aas ng questions, especially sa mga bata na nagtataka kami, asan ang coach nyo? Asan ang ano? Wala pa na program sa amin ng coach namin. Nagbabantay lang po siya. So magandang panahon ito para magkaroon tayo ng malayang talakayan. So iba pang mga so I guess we are almost on the final road of our discussion. So some final thoughts or my own summary ladies and gentlemen, talk earlier. So, saan yun? Final. Okay. So, one moment. Share screen. I'm on screen. So, share screen. Okay. So, some final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Having a world-class coach can produce a world-class athletes. Second is exposure by different places is a great school for improvement. And of course, experience, meaning if you experience higher and better things, it will make you as a better person. Education, of course, is of course related only not to school, but also in life. And of course, as a coach, you can't give what you don't have. Ano lang ang natutunan natin, kung ano lang yung ating narating, at kung hindi tayo maghahangad na magkaroon ng iba pang mga mithiin o gawain, yan lang ang ating maibibigay sa ating mga atleta. Kung ang ating pangarap ay hanggang dito lamang natin madadala ang ating mga atleta. Pero kung mangangarap tayo ng mataas, ng mas maayos, mas maganda, at mas may maayos papahalaga, mas malayo ang mararating ng ating mga atleta para sa bayan. Muli po, marami pong salamat. Again, hindi pa ho namin i-close yung room, but if you want to stay further for networks, etc., then you can still type your questions. So we will still stay online for 15 minutes for any exchange of idea. But to those who like, you can do so, but still you can stay if you want. Salamat sa mga atleta na nagpunta rito, lalo sa Sacred Heart School, Ateneo de Cebu at sa Ateneo de Davao University na nag-log in today. So again, magkita-kita tayo sa Friday sa ating Q&A portion sa Pinoy Athletics Track Talk Tuesdays. Muli, ang ating sikreto ay pagkakaroon ng malakas, mainam at mahalagang bagay at pagpapahalaga at kultura sa larangan ng athletics. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon, maayong hapon sa ating lahat. God bless po. So to those who need to go, you can go. Andrew, Mike, and yes, salamat Coach Emerson and Ma'am Jeanette. See you on Friday po ha. See you on Friday, 2 p.m. po. Isasend ko po yung link. Ma'am Jeanette,
Naputol siya. Yes.
kindly send me a PM kasi sa Facebook yung yung link po sa Facebook po kasi hindi ko ma-connect minsan. Anyway, I don't know. Opo, sige po. Salamat po, Sir Emerson. Isend ko
Thank
niyo ba yan? Thank you. Salamat for Philippine Athletics. Salamat. Okay. Okay, others like thank you, Gail. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sir Anthony. Salamat, David. I hope nag-enjoy ka. Andrew and Mike, please stay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. And okay, so yes. So did you recorded it well, buddy, by the way? Salamat, Sir Joe Francis. By the way, Joe, taga saan po kayo?
From Tarlac po, sir.
Tarlac, opo. So, sa venue ng palaro, that's 2011? 2010, yes, sir. Yeah. Opo. So, yung sinasabi namin kanina na sana mas magkaroon tayo ng mas collaborative effort. Kaya namin ito ginagawa para mas magkaroon tayo ng malakas na network ng coaches, ng athletes, etc. Salamat din, Happy, sa pagpunta. Salamat sa pagdalo. Greatly appreciated. Yan. Thank you very much, Gail, from Dubai, for joining us and others who participated in this meeting. So, we will still keep the time open because I was thinking that, of course, some people might still log in up to 10 a.m. local time. 4 a.m. up to local time. So, hindi natin i-off muna. Sir Emerson and Ma'am Jeanette, kung hindi namin muna i-off to kasi baka may iba pang humabol. So, minsan nagre-recap kasi kami eh. And of course, to give them enough time to ask questions. Yun. Salamat, Tony, ha. Salamat. I hope in 2021 makadalaw na kami sa DASMA. Balita ko may matino na raw kayong sports complex that time. Tama ba, Sir Anthony? Na may maganda na kayong at full-fledged sports complex at Dasmariñas soon. Tama ba? Sir Anthony, kung kayo po pwede narinig niyo po ako? Ma'am Ria Kiston, salamat po ulit mula po sa matulayong lungsod ng Cavite City, Ciudad de Cavite, sa mga nagtsatsabakan. Ma'am Ria, marunong pa kayo magtsabakano? Although mahirap na raw magtsabakano sa Cavite City, ilan na lang nagsasalita ng tsabakano. Thank you very much. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the session today.
Opo, sir. May mga nagtsatsabakan pa po, pero ako hindi po ako marunong.
Okay, wala lang kasi nabanggit ko lang kasi nga I know na aside from Zamboanga, ang Cavite City na lang may mga may ang active Chabacano. Chabacano is a language based on Spanish yun. Okay, anyway,
sir.
Okay, salamat ma'am. Friday po ha, dumalo at magpadalo po tayo. Friday po. Mag-invite pa po tayo. Kasi po, record breaking tayo last time, umabot tayo 55. So, I hope ma-meet natin ng 100 tayo.
Planuhin ko lang po yung mga coaches. Opo, sa coaches kasi sana makalusot ako. May naka-schedule ko po kasi ako ng Friday. So, try ko po. Sir. Try ko po. Eh, sabihin ko na lang po yung ibang mga coaches ko dito para kahit pa paano. Maganda po to. Ako nga, mas may mga naliwanagan po ako as do sa coaching kasi kumbaga hindi naman ako napunta lang ako sa athletics na basta na lang nila. So, yung mga magandang bagay pang nangyari ngayong hapon. Thank you po.
Yes, you're welcome po. Ayun naman natin lalo nating maparami ang ating mga katulad na may puso sa athletics. Kasi lagi ko pong sinasabi, and Andrew can attest on this, only a coach with a good heart and really a dedicated coach can make a better athlete. Yes, kasi unfortunately, may kapag wala yung willingness na matuto, wala yung pagpupursige. At itong sinasabi natin, lagi natin sinasabi sa atleta natin, maging disiplinado, maging determinado, magpursige. Pero kung mismo sa sarili natin, hindi tayo nagpupursige at hindi tayo nagiging disiplinado, so pangit naman, di ba? So ganun yung gusto natin iparating. Kaya sa aming pagbabalik sa 2021, watch out po. Baka po sabihin niya mag-organize po tayo ng first Pinoy Athletics Grassroots Workshop and Congress. This will be an open event sa lahat. Meaning, hindi kung DepEd or not, basta marunong at may puso sa athletics willing mag-join. Kasi po, very actual at practical ang aming mga ituturo. Makakaya. Hindi man din ako pinakamahusay na coach, pero at least kung ano yung kaya naming may ambag ay aming gagawin. So whatever that we can contribute for the Philippine athletics community, we will try our best. So pakikalat po, mga around August, pag wala ng COVID, August 2021 or August or September 2022, once everything. Okay, so
Opo po, sir. Okay po, sir. Welcome din. Sir, Pia, ano ko na lang yung sa certificate kung makahingi po.
Opo, sige po. Marami pong salamat. PM lang po ninyo.
Email ko na lang po sa inyo. Okay. Okay. Opo.
Andrew, are you still there?
Yeah.
Andrew? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we can still discuss. Again, thank you again. If you need to train, then you can leave. Yeah. But of course, we still. Sir Anthony, nandyan pa po ba kayo? Sir Joe, regarding sa ano pong position niyo po sa Tarlac po? Sir Joe, ano po yung kamusta po ang sports complex sa Dasma? Tuloy na po ba? Malapit na patapos na po ba?
Yung alin po? Sorry, choppy po, sir.
Sir Joe, tanong ko lang po, ano po yung position niyo po sa DepEd? Or saan po kayo connected? Sorry, hindi ko masyadong get po.
Sa DepEd po, Tarlac National High School.
Opo, yes po. Kasi po, yun yung napag-usapan namin. Hopefully, paki-extend na rin although wala pa namang working papers or endorsements na magkakaroon po tayo ng first Pinoy Athletics Grassroots Athletics Coaches in August or September 2021 or 2022. Open po sa lahat. And also, ang plan namin ay we will implement really na yung talagang nag-handle na totoo athletics ang dapat sumali. Kasi ayaw po namin na masayang yung effort na opo. Kasi yung napansin namin na of course with youth na talagang exposito pero hindi nabibigyan sa pag-access para ma-improve yung kanilang skills. Good day po, Bon. Unfortunately po, we're almost done na po because we already completed our interview with EJ. But then still you can join our final informal discussion po. Sir Bon, you can hear us. Kindly say your name and your affiliation po. So kung wala pa si Sir Bon, sige po. Okay. Regarding pa sa iba, Sir Joe, ano po yung event na hinahandle niyo po sa athletics? Ano pong kinukuha po? Lahat po ba or depende pa po?
Dito po sa school ko, sir, actually lahat, all around coach po ako. Pero dun sa, meron po kasi akong affiliation sa isang private school na athletics din. Ang ina-handle ko po dun is runs, sprints.
Yes, of yes po. Paki-email na lang po ako ulit sa email ko po.
Paano po makuha yung email niyo, sir?
Ito po yung email ko dun sa mag-ask po ng certificate. Yes, buddy. Anything that you'd like to say further before we end our discussion?
Not really. No.
Okay, yeah, we can continue later. It's just that we only open the room if someone wants to enter further. We still have 15 minutes before I close the room. So I hope that we have really a good discussion earlier. Yeah, and it's a good
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, a good thing. But yes, I will tell more about it later on our assessment. Okay, so we still have 5 minutes and then I will close the room. So I hope that you enjoy our time. So again, maraming salamat Sergio, Andrew, Gail, Sir Bon. We will share the slide and the live stream of the video in Pinoy Athletics page when we're done. Okay. So Andrew, I take charge of the uploading of the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So see you around. Okay. Salamat po. Okay. Bye-bye. Goodbye.